Let's get past this. Yes, we just got done talking about Efrideet to a point in a recent video. Yes, I expressed my complete disdain that she wasn't added in, even with a nod or a single mention. Yes, I am rather connected to this character, and I'll be the first to say that I have an emotional attachment to the character. She was the first lore topic I ever covered, and through this character, I have met so very many of you and made so very many new friends and acquaintances. But Lady Efrideet's importance goes much further than a simple emotional response or a connection that I have to her that's on the level of appreciation for a character. She is one of the most interesting characters that has been introduced within the universe of Destiny, showing that we can leave the tower, go into hiding, and simply keep ourselves away from the grasp of the Vanguard. And that's just a start. Still, some of you are new here, and that's okay. Some of you have heard Efrideet's name throughout the campaign of Destiny, especially if you played a Titan. I also can't believe I brought myself to play a Titan. Dear God, I'm playing a Titan, someone help me. Efrideet was first heard of in vanilla Destiny. Her name was on a sniper from the Iron Banner event back in the day, and that was about all we knew of her. At that point, we thought that Saladin was the only one left, the last Iron Lord that would have been alive from the Dark Ages. Though this assumption isn't wrong, well, Rise of Iron has the truth of it.
No statue for me, I see?
The statues are for the dead. And I always hoped you were not among them.
When Rise of Iron was revealed, we were presented with these medallions. Among them, however, was nothing about Efrideet. Each of these medallions is in honor of and factors back to one of the Iron Lords. Along with these medallions is also a statue for each Lord or Lady. Well, turns out, Efrideet is alive. She reveals over time that she left at one point or another, having given up her title of Iron Lord and went to look for another way to use her light. Saladin holds no grudges against her, at least so we see, and he welcomes her home as a good friend, even allowing her to become the Iron Banner's representative in Rise of Iron. But this is where things get interesting. Efrideet reveals she's been around other Guardians in the outer rim of the solar system, going about her life along with these Guardians as a pacifist. You can imagine that many that heard of this the first time tended to go, why would you want to be a pacifist when we're all fighting for Earth's salvation? Why not fight for the Traveler? Shiro4, an Exo Hunter under the tutelage of Cade 6, comments on how he's heard of these holdouts in the Outer Rim, but just felt it was a rumor. Frankly, makes you wonder, at least to a point, who else might be out that way, with Efrideet being only one of the possible legends that could be out there. Anyway, Efrideet is apparently more than willing to talk about what had happened during the Dark Ages and what pushed her away from Earth. She's more than willing to talk about her philosophy and new ways of life, but she won't talk about the place she goes or the holdouts in the Outer Rim at all. This is just another mystery to add to the pile. In her visit of Fellwinter Peak, the place that Saladin can look over her and keep her safe from anyone truly interested in trying to take her away, interrogate her or otherwise, Efrideet was able to keep those mysteries. Well, mysteries. We have no idea where these holdouts are exactly, what even near precise location she could be in, how far away she may be. All we have to go by is the very cryptic Outer Rim. And this is the truly interesting part of Efrideet, the thing that makes her an interesting character, one that had a title that was bestowed to her by a want to combine forces with the other Iron Lords and protect humanity, only to throw that title away for a chance at a different life? A new way to live? To grow her light in other ways? We don't quite know. We also don't quite know what these holdouts are talking about, what they care to do with this fostered freedom that they have, what kind of living conditions they have. We have nothing to go by. She was our only possible link to this new idea of Guardians that now exist outside the tower. How did they get away? Who else is out there? Could other Iron Lords have followed suit? Is there anything to do with other colonies that have been lost to us, like the one spoken of with Jupiter? These are just a few of the possible links that go around in my head when dealing with Efrideet, a character that seems to be inconsequential to the lore of Destiny on a whole, but offers up implications of free will, a lack of manipulation by our ghosts, a sign that we can choose to live how we want to, but yet we choose to fight. And now, in Destiny 2, we still question whether she's dead or not, something that could have been simply summed up with a phrase or two. An Iron Lord that was thought to have been killed ages ago now resurfaces and reemerges from nothingness, seemingly from death itself. Tyra Karn, the oldest note-taker and historian we know of in our current age of the city, says just as much, feeling that records upon records will need to be rewritten because she never actually died. We've talked enough about the implications of Efrideet and what she means to the Destiny universe, but my question is why there has been a group so quick and willing to say that she's dead, when there's too much evidence to support that we simply don't know, but a sliver to suggest that she's very much alive. Let's go to Culprit 1, the Titan-class quest that seem to be the main offenders of it all.
So Lord Saladin and Lady Efrideet. He'll hate that I'm telling this story, but Lady Efrideet. I like Lady Efrideet. She tells me everything. We like our stories, and we like our helmets. So, Efrideet. She lifts Saladin over her head. And she says, I never miss. She lifts him over her head, and she throws him. And he cranks his fist of havoc. Their combined arc energy singing like a drawn sword. 20 miles down, he plummets into a fallen walker. He's like a cannon shot out of a friggin' anti-aircraft gun. Everything explodes. Her ghost was laughing when she revived him. They saved a whole village of people. This was the Dark Age. They had those villages. I miss those days. I miss Lady Efrideet.
I can't play every single voice line for you guys, but I can say that the majority of them amongst all the classes are generally in past tense. The Sunbreaker's hammer, in particular, is an item that was held by a previous Titan and then dropped. We recover it on Nessus of all places, and then go through Traveler Portal storytime to hear how it all began with some of these guys, namely with Shaxx standing beside them. Of course, what's interesting here is how it seems to veer off and start talking about Efrideet, and this is where many get the thought, and rightfully so, that she may be dead. Again, Efrideet already pulled this maneuver. She already faked her own death and hid from the tower for a long time. Everyone thought she was dead, minus Saladin, who always just hoped she wasn't among the dead Iron Lords. Tyra's official record, the record that many of us go by for our historical reference, claims she was dead and buried. What we hear is Shaxx simply telling the story of how Efrideet hurled Saladin like a spear, which is a common and fun story now told around the tower. Without going in circles too much, the records now need to be rewritten, and Efrideet is seemingly brought back from the grave with her appearance in the Iron Temple to assist with the Iron Banner, while Saladin manages the new Siva campaign in Rise of Iron. But with one logic map down, we have one other in mind. Let's observe Vostok Observatory as it is now in Destiny 2. It's completely fine. The temple hasn't been hit, the observatory itself wasn't attacked or damaged, and the area looks 100% okay. The Cabal only attacked the city. They had no intention of going after the temple, or so it seems, and we wouldn't take the time to rebuild it. We'd sooner abandon it as a new Crucible battleground before doing anything else with it. Further, Efrideet didn't always hang out in the observatory. She came and went every month from wherever she resides in the solar system and then came back to run the Iron Banner. This was not her home. By staying within Felwinter Peak, Efrideet was under Saladin's protection, and I'm sure that no one in the tower would want to upset Saladin, no matter what information they may want to know or learn from Efrideet. To try to take Efrideet by force, to understand where she goes or who she converses with, wouldn't be in their best interest. Shiro 4 can ask all he wants, but she'll remain tight-lipped. To those that claim she was killed in the tower attack, I would ask you what motivation she then has to go there. I don't mean this as an arrogant statement, I mean it as a question. If she were to enter the tower, she could possibly be detained by the Vanguard and kept for questioning until she gave up where her conclave brothers and sisters might be. Aside from seeing the place for a little while, she would have no reason to go back there when Saladin is the only thing protecting her. You could argue that Saladin would still become enraged and try to rescue her, but I don't think either side would want to really fight against the other, no matter what. Perhaps the pacifist route is the best route to ensure both parties remain happy and content with each other. Besides this, Efrideet is a friend. She may be thought of as a deserter, certainly, but she is a friend. These two logic maps serve to tell me that there is something more with Efrideet, and that the silence given to us by Bungie could prove a few things, one of which, at least, meaning that we'll see Efrideet at a later time in a bigger, better way. What worries me and why I'm so adamant in my feelings of this character comes down to the split in feelings that we now have, all because we have no confirmation of where or how this character is now acting or what she's doing. Seemingly, with Iron Banner almost done, we still have seen or heard nothing from Saladin about Efrideet's whereabouts or what she may have been doing during the city attack. We already know what happened to Tyra Karn, being she's in the farm, and Cade actually talks about Shiro a bit in the tower.
Next time you say Shiro, tell him he owes me a hand or two down at the cantina. He's buying.
But the one that we know nothing about is Efrideet. What could be simply phrased by one or two sentences to sum up what she's doing is either omitted for a purpose or just not thought of. Hell, let's look at Eris Morn, the hive-touched hunter of the dark below that had a better send-off that also introduced Asher Mir to us within the Grimoire cards of the Age of Triumph. She stopped, and beneath the gauze of her face, all three eyes closed. For a moment she allowed herself to feel the dark tears that flowed, unending, down her face. The eyes reopened, and her strength blazed in the darkness. I must find a new path through the night. The Hive are vast and ancient, a power from far beyond our realm. If we are ever truly to face them, ever truly to put an end to their hate, I must step beyond the safety of the city. She lifted her head and looked beyond the window to the horizon, to the grand sweep of the walls, the edge of humanity's reach. Be safe, Kensum Scribe. A storm is coming, and I will not be at your side when it finds its way to our shores. With those words and a gathering locus of power, she was gone. Here, we actively know she is going off to fight the Hive, that her overall mission is far from over. She's now going to carry on what we are not exactly ready to do, with the possibility that she could come back. Throughout the story in Strikes of Destiny 2, Eris Morn is talked about as being missing or gone. Her whereabouts are unknown to those in the tower, and there is genuine concern within the rank and file of the Vanguard where she might be. But they know she isn't gone for some reason. I have a feeling this is due to a lore tab that comes from Asher Mir, addressed to Eris Morn, which seemingly outlines a bit of information on Nokris and what she's after. Eris, I have scoured my library but found nothing on this Nokris of which you speak. I am sorry both for the delay and that I could not be of more help. Do you ever feel any affection for the creatures that changed you? I confess this weakness myself. In the shadow of the Pyramidion, I have sometimes felt a kind of craven admiration for the illimitable superior beings that suffuse my body. I can feel them move through my veins with purpose, magnetized to the intent of the minds that have come to machinoform Echo Mesa. I have a sense of their desires. They have changed since I fell, and so I am, if nothing else, a new variable in whatever grand equation compels them. My arm grows worse. This morning I cut my finger and bled radiolaria. I will redouble my efforts. Truth in action, Eshamir. But this is just it. We have some indication that Eris is okay. She was, of course, a bigger part of the original title than Efrideet was, and I'll admit that immediately, but with the unanswered questions that Efrideet poses to us about Guardians leaving the tower and being able to survive without issue out there without needing to resort to violence, is it so much to ask how? Is it so much to hope for some kind of resolution to an intriguing bit of story? Say yes. I dare you. I dare you to tell me I shouldn't expect more of a game and a title that has given us a lot of awesome open story points, to want to have the game and its story explain itself, to express a story that it tried to do so in ways that were alternative to the constant of storytelling in games today. Go on. Tell me I'm wrong for being worried about the lore of a game that otherwise was steeped in it, could present threads along each and every turn, could open up new pathways and causeways with a single sentence that altered the meaning of things with single words and phrases. I focus on the story because that's who I am. Others will focus on the Crucible and other gameplay elements because that's who they are. We all have an equal voice for this platform at current, and none of us are wrong to want more of this game, of a universe that we love and have loved for possibly the last 3 years or more. So when I say I'm connected to a character and that character means more to me than I can validly express, and that connection seems to be more emotional than it is factual, I hope you'll understand, just as much as your passion for screaming at Crucible to be better is no different. When I can effectively be okay with what Eris is doing and possibly going through in our solar system, but want a single line to tell me what another character is doing, or if they're okay, or they will be back, am I so wrong in that want? Is anyone, for that matter? What this entire situation staves to show is that we should in no way be separate and divisive. It proves to show that all of us, every walk of life, the people that like the story or the gameplay in any aspect, want to see Destiny 2 become more than it is. And for me, that embodiment is a single character that played such a minor role within the overall universe that Bungie has presented us. What I hope this viewpoint has at least shown is that I would love to see us work together more than I would see us split apart. We've gone through a lot of problems like this in the past with Destiny, and I don't think anybody could hide that. Now it's up to us to continue to voice our concern for the title, to see it grow and flourish, be it on the story or gameplay side of things. None of us are wrong in wanting to see more of a universe we hold so dear, and none of you should feel guilty for it. I'll leave my thoughts there. I thank you all for listening to my thoughts on Efrideet, the Missing Iron Lord, and I hope you all have a fantastic day and can help move your voice towards helping the community rather than attempting to rip it apart. You can thank Efrideet and the mystery she holds for expressing myself in this way, sparking my interest the way her character has done for me to start looking into this web known as Destiny. Until next Spacetime Guardians, take care.